Hey everybody, Tim here with today's review of Doctor Who, story number 21, The Daleks' Master Plan. This is an epic storyline. When I say epic, I don't mean epic as in the sense of this was great, you need to drop whatever it is you're doing and go watch it. I mean epic as in the scope and the scale on which this story is told has probably, to my recollection as of right now, not really been done on Doctor Who, at least, for a long time, because this episode, or this storyline, is 12 episodes long. So at this point, I think the longest one was like 6, maybe 8. And so 12 episodes, like granted, these episodes are only like 20-25 minutes a piece, but even if you double them up to a standard episode as Doctor Who is now, that's still 6 episodes. The standard season is like 12. Can you imagine if they came out with a season of Doctor Who today and the first half of the season was all one storyline? Like, it's not done. Whereas, again, these seasons were 30, 40, 45 episodes. Like, TV back in the 60s is very different than it is today. Now, this, not only is this story so long, this story includes the 100th episode of Doctor Who. This is the first episode to air, or it contains the first episode to air in 1966. So there's all sorts of different stuff going on with this, just like before we even get to the actual storyline. So like I said, it's 12 episodes. I'm not even going to lie, it took me days to get through this because I wanted to do it and I wanted to do it right. And out of 12 episodes, 9 of them are missing. 9 of them. And 2, 5, and 10 are the only ones that were intact. And let me tell you, I was glued to the television while watching those 3. The other 9 were kind of a chore to get through. Like, it was super interesting, but I was pulling up IMDb. I was pulling up Wikipedia. I was pulling up Google. Like, anything I could get to kind of get me more engaged with the audio I was hearing, but the visual I was not seeing. And overall, it was great. Like, if I could have any of the first Doctor to be, like, animated, this would actually probably be my second choice. We have not gotten to my favorite storyline yet, but this would definitely be the second story that I would love to have fully completed and animated so I could enjoy all 12 episodes, like, fully visualized. So, we kind of got a hint of this episode earlier from the Mission to the Unknown, the one-shot episode that doesn't have the Doctor or the companions or the TARDIS or anybody. And that was kind of an episode to set up this storyline. And so from here, like, it starts out where Steve is still poisoned from the previous story, and they encounter Brent Voyan, who I'm super excited for. Like, this is one of the great things about this episode, is he is played by Nicholas Courtney, who's such a good actor. And as soon as he came on, I forgot that he was in this, and I screamed at my television. Now, granted, Nicholas Courtney plays Brent Voyan in this episode. Most of you that are like classic Doctor Who fans will know Nicholas Courtney as the doctor, or as the actor that plays Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. I was so happy to see him. Nicholas Courtney is one of the very few actors who has actually, like, shared scenes with all of the classic Doctors, 1 through 8, or 1 through 7. Like, from the original series, 1 through 7, he has shared a scene with every single Doctor. And that is amazing. Like, that man, he's passed away, and he was even in the Sarah Jane Chronicles. So, like, that man is, like, my bucket list. Like, that would be such a great accomplishment. And I feel sad that he never got to share scenes with, like, 9 or 8, 9, 10, 11. Supposedly he was supposed to do more on the Sarah Jane adventures and actually meet 11, but he ended up passing away before he could. But still, like, to see, as soon as Nicholas Courtney came on, I was so happy. I was like, oh, it's Lethbridge Stewart! Like, how cool is that? Which I'm fangirling all over the place. I'm sorry, but it was great. So he tells them how it's like the year 4000, and then we start seeing Daleks appear and all sorts of stuff's going on. Basically, this whole episode, like I said, is the continuation of Mission to the Unknown, where we see this giant, like, alliance come together, led by Mavic Chen, who is the guardian of the Earth. Who, it seems like he's a really good guy, but then as we get into the later episodes, like, this guy's a dick, and he's just, like, kind of the villain of the series, and it's a little sad, because he seems so cool in this one. I forgot. Katarina. Katarina's still in this, and, like, she's not really like holding her own in this, where like the Doctor has to explain what a key is and all sorts of stuff like that. Seeing like the Doctor meet Brett Voyan was, like I said, already like one of my great ones. Seeing the Council of the Aliens, I'm kind of jumping through this because there was so much coming at me and I could see very little of it. But when Steven basically, he's talking to somebody and he's like, oh, Catalina's from Troy, you don't have to explain things to her. I was like, he just called her dumb, like right in front of her face. And I was like, I don't foresee her lasting very long as like a companion. And sure enough, like right off the bat, this guy takes her hostage and she ends up like sacrificing herself and blowing the two of them out of the air compartment and dying. And she's the first companion to die. And it was really sad. We're like I think this is the 4th episode in, so we're only a third of the way through this storyline, and Katarina has already killed herself. And it's like, that was really sad. And this is kind of one of those things where, off the top of my head, I can only think of 2 main companions that have really died. Although Catalina was introduced in the last story, and then she died in this story. So, I don't know. Like, not to be mean, but it's not a huge loss because we didn't have that long development to kind of get to know her. I really didn't like the scene where Steven is like, he's like locked in like body lock, and all he can do is kind of move his eyes. And then the Daleks shoot him right before he goes in the TARDIS. And the Doctor says, like, the Daleks destroyed your shield, kind of like the TARDIS has a shield, and they destroyed it, and it's a good thing they didn't fire twice. And it's like, you mean if the Daleks shot the TARDIS twice, they would blow it up? Like, what are you trying to say there? So that kind of bothered me. From there, we go to the 7th episode. I hated the 7th episode so much. Out of all 12 episodes, the 7th one was the hardest, and like, boop, just take it out, you wouldn't miss anything. Where, of course, the Doctor gets away, and like, he's like, oh, you two can't go. Oh, it's Sarah at this point. It's a brand new companion that's only in this storyline. And he's like, you and Steven can't go out because you'll be killed instantly. And then that's where like the end of story 6 ends, and then 7 begins, and he's like, oh, you know what? Actually, you guys can go out there. It's just the 1960s, and there's a ton of pollution that your futuristic immune systems can't handle, but I think you guys will be okay. I was like, seriously? Like, you did all of that for a cliffhanger that you're just like, JK, well, let's go. And the whole episode is just a Christmas story where they're on this movie set, and they're ruining takes. And then finally we get to the end, and the Doctor looks right in the camera. He's like, Merry Christmas to you all that are watching at home. And I was like, why would you have the Doctor break the 4th wall? Like, it seemed really odd to me. And it just seemed like this placeholder episode that really didn't do anything. And like, after that, for the rest of the episodes, we kind of get back into that Dalek Master Plan storyline where the Chen is talking about how, oh, he's a time traveler, and he travels through space, and he's from another galaxy. He's not like Sarah, he's not like Steven, he's not from Earth. Even though he looks like an Earthling, he's not. He's from another galaxy. So if you guys want continuity, Doctor Who is not the show for you, because Doctor Who does not believe in continuity. And so, like, at this point, he's not really a Time Lord because they haven't, like, really announced that, like, species name, just like they haven't said Gallifrey yet. But it's interesting that they do know of him. So from there, the Doctor tries to escape, and he goes to a volcano, like, brand newly formed planet that's still, like, volcanic and still erupting and stuff. And out of all the people in the whole fucking galaxy that he could meet, who's there? It's the meddling monk, the other kind of his same species. And so now the monk and the Daleks have teamed up together, and there's like this terrible cheesy scene where they then run away from each other to ancient Egypt, where the Doctor gets there, the monks get there, and then the Daleks and Chen get there. And you're just like it's like this cheesy story where you just like, it's almost like Scooby-Doo, where they're just running through the hallway. And it's just, I was like seriously, like, we're like 12 episodes, we're like episode 10 at this point. Just stop. End the storyline. But they kept going, because what do they know? And so it's kind of interesting because the Doctor steals the monk's navigational sense thing that's in his own TARDIS. And so, of course, the monk goes away, and he's lost for eternity now. If anybody is in the production of Doctor Who now, bring back the monk. The monk is such an interesting character. He was only in 2 stories for the original Doctor. We've never seen him again. Why have we not seen the monk? Like, seeing the monk would be such an interesting story. They've done the Master to death. They've done so many different like versions of the Master. They've done Missy. They've done everything. Bring back the monk. That's what we want to see. So from there, like, there's all sorts of other stuff where Chen talks about, like, he starts breaking up the Alliance, and the Alliance is like, we're all equal. And he's like, well, some of us are more equal than others, which is a great Farmville, farm something. The book reference, like, that was really, really well done. I like that. And then, like, as the story finally slowly crawls to an end, where the Doctor brings back the whatever the element is that Chen has brought to the Alliance, and it starts aging everybody. And then Sarah dies, which, again, I don't count that as a companion death, because this is her only, like, storyline. But we see the Doctor start aging, but Steven, like, grabs him and throws him in the TARDIS at the last minute. They go back to their own ages, but Chen dies, and then slowly they actually do make it back home, or back to the TARDIS, I guess, to take off. 12 episodes. Let me tell you, this was a chore to get through, but some of it is really well done. Some of it is some great Doctor Who storytelling. Some of it was like, you could have just cut that out. If they wanted to, they could have taken all 12 of these and crammed it down to at least 9 to make it, like, flow a lot better. So, for those who have seen this one, I know I boiled it down a little bit. What did you think about seeing Nicholas Courtney? What did you think about Katrina dying? What did you think about Sarah dying? What did you think about Chen, the Daleks, the monk? Go ahead, let me know what you guys think, because I could probably talk about this one for a long time, so I'm interested to see your comments. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next... Oh, and it's kind of interesting, before I announce the next title, all of the remaining stories for the first Doctor are all 4 episodes apiece. So I feel like they did this 12 episode arc and they're like, shit, let's not do that again. So they're all just these little mini 4 episode arcs, and we're almost done. There's like 6 more storylines for the first Doctor. So what did you think? Go ahead, let me know, and I will see you guys next time for the Massacre of St. Bartholomew Eve.